Hello, this is Penny Gale. Welcome to the Spoken Spatter, where we talk true crime, missing persons, and you better believe every drop is mentioned. My passion is writing, so I share my collections from red hair, freckle-faced stepchild. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and if you like my story, give it a thumbs up. And I ask, please, stay to the end. Today I bring you part 2 of 2 in the series 12 Life's Lessons Public School Taught Me. Good girls come by it honestly, and always buy spill-proof bleach. Now I've talked about others' bad behavior, so I find it only fair to admit that I'm not without many flaws. But before I tell you this story on myself, let me tell you about my Granny Sue. Her name is actually Helen Hoyt Fleming. That was just my nickname for her. To say the least, she was wonderful. Clearly, the mold was broken after she was created. Her husband Floyd was medically discharged from the Army and stayed home tending the chicken farm in Hooks, Texas. Granny was transferred to Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls, where she served out her remaining 40 years of civil service in parts. This is what brought my family to Bourbonnette, Texas. Mother of 4, Helen was often referred to as the computer by her co-workers, servicemen, and the commander. She had a great memory. Retired, and having lost her husband when he was only 54, at 70 years old and into her 80s, she mowed her own lawn and tended a full vegetable garden. She had a beautiful rose bush and transplanted a grapevine she found growing up under the back porch that soon all but took over her backyard. She made the best jelly, refrigerator pies, and fried chicken. Once a month, she would walk downtown to deposit her paycheck, pay her utilities, pick up her commodities and trash bags, and then make her way back home again. I have no doubt the townspeople, that I know they enjoyed this every month. And that she probably held a conversation with anyone that had a few moments to spare during their workday. She was a proud and loyal member of the American Legion Post 264 and could always be counted upon to sell poppies at Walmart and bake goods for cakewalks. She held one of the offices every year, showed up for bingo and dances on the weekends. She was kind, honest, and hardworking. Growing bored, she began working at the school cafeteria as dishwasher, where every student said, "Hi, Granny," as they dropped off their trays. I've never heard an ill word spoken about my Granny Sue. She only spent a few years in the nursing home when she passed away at the age of 100. She and her stories of riding her horse to school, wringing chickens' necks, and picking cotton will never be forgotten. Now, I never knew my dad. My mother, she never married. So we lived with my granny through most of my school years. One year I begged my mom for designer jeans for school. Reluctantly, she agreed, telling me that I would have to wear 2 pair twice a week because that was all she could afford. I was so happy to own a pair of Jordache, Gloria Vanderbilt, and my favorite of the 3, Calvin Kleins. Granny did all the cooking and most of the household chores, as well as working part-time, so laundry often would be found still in the dryer. Sitting in the kitchen, at the table, next to the bar, in her regular seat, I rushed by her to the back porch to grab my Calvins as she had washed them the night before at my request. Grateful, I run back to my bedroom, sit down on the bed. As I'm pulling those piping hot jeans on, I gasped. My heart sunk. Looking down at a huge bleach spot on one of the legs, right in front, midway along the shin. Set in for sure. Now, my granny and me, we got along good. Never had crosswords. And to this day, I still feel awful about how I acted that morning as she explained to me, apologizing, how the bleach bottle had slipped and fell into my basket of clothes the night before. What a horrible brat I was, making her feel worse than she already did. Even though I later apologized over and over, crying with my head in her lap, while she stroked my hair, saying, "It's all right, it's all right." I have never forgiven myself. I mean, how could I be that person? Treat her like that. Just horrible. She had found a dark blue ink pen, and I colored in the spot, and it went unnoticed by the mean girls. At least they didn't say anything if they did see it. So my next pair of designer jeans didn't come till my senior year, when I paid for a pair of Guess jeans myself with my own money. I've never felt the same about expensive clothes since, and I wouldn't trade 1 minute of my time with my granny for a day with that mean girl's mom, even if she promised me every last piece of designer clothing in every color. The values she instilled in me, I learned by observing her. She didn't need to tell me how to act. She led by example. And I'm grateful for everything she did for me in my life. Above all, I credit her and my mother for my character, empathy, and sense of goodness within. That's the end of lesson 2. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss the next life's lesson from red hair, freckle-faced stepchild. And guys, please, be kind. I insist.